From the sidelines on 1580 KGAL.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to From the Sidelines. I just had that story about the Albany person who was on The Biggest Loser. I'm looking for somewhere, to cash in, make some big money, make big, quick money. I'll be out of here on Fridays, when that happens. But in the meantime, by the way, I believe that litigation is my road to a retirement future. And I'll tell that. I say that to you, those of you that are in the audience, if you ever meet me, be careful. I'm looking for somebody to sue. I'm looking for any kind of excuse I can find. And it could be you. I'm sorry, whoever you are. It could be Wally, it could be Rob here this morning. Something happens and I say I'm injured. I'll sue them for everything they've got. And then next Friday, that's it.
I'm a little concerned about my remarks. I don't want to be sued for defamation of character, and I defame your character every week.
I know, and I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about that way. I'm recording.
Oh, very good.
You need a whole series of things to show that it was a pattern, that it was intentional, that it wasn't just accidental one time. It's been a pattern over several years.
Well, I've been doing it for 8 years.
I know. And
I was going to say, he's got years and years of recordings.
I've got a lot of material. But that Biggest Loser program, I heard about that, and I thought, hey, there's something I could win. Then it turns out it has to do with weight. I thought it was just, a big loser. I figured, I'm going to win the first prize in that. So that went up in smoke. That said, good morning, and welcome to From the Sidelines. It's a Friday program we do here at locally owned and operated KGAL Radio. Proud to be local, and proud to introduce to you Wally Ordeman, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. I'll join the applause at home.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
Go, Wally.
All right.
Don't get up.
Boy, I'm not going to get up. As I said earlier, you're lucky. When you came in, you said, don't get up. I said, you're lucky I say hello.
Good morning, Ray.
Oh, good morning to you. Over there is Chipper Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Over there.
Oh, let the chant begin.
Wearing his Braves shirt.
2 o'clock this afternoon, Braves.
Is that right?
Braves and Cardinals.
Yeah, that's Rob Allen over there. Longtime Braves fan. Very excited about the fact that the Braves are going to be playing one playoff game this year. And then they're going home. And you liked the two-team wild card thing last week, didn't you, when we talked about it?
More or less. More or less.
Yeah. Your favorite team may pay the price this afternoon. One game and done. The Cardinals and the Braves and the Orioles and Texas. What a collapse by Texas, eh? Colossal.
Yeah.
Colossal collapse. Spell both words.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
They don't begin with K.
I said, too, that I like the two-team wild card. Let me try that again. Two-team wild card. I do not like the one-game shot, though. One and done. I don't care for that at all.
But how could you have longer playoffs, for them to begin? Like even I don't think you could go 5-3, best of 3.
Yeah, 2 out of 3.
It starts Friday.
It beats one and done. I mean, I don't get that.
How about if Baltimore and the Yankees had tied? The Yankees just edged out Boston in that last game, 14-2. Well, they allowed 2 runs to the Red Sox. That's slippery.
Right.
I'll bet Joe Girardi was having a fit in the clubhouse, saying if we go up 2 runs to these guys, wait till we get to the playoffs. But if Baltimore and the Yankees had tied on that last day, there would have been a one-game playoff.
Right.
And that would be, let's see, that was Wednesday. Today's Friday. It would have been yesterday.
Sure.
They would have played yesterday, and somebody would have been traveling. Apparently, it would have been the Yankees, because the first tiebreaker is head-to-head. Now, I don't know whether that one breaks a tie totally. If you win more games against the team with whom you tie, that you are the champion. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
But the second tiebreak, and by the way, they each won 9, so it wouldn't matter. They split the series this year. But the second tiebreaker was within division play. And Baltimore had a better record against the division than the Yankees did, because the Yankees were slipping from August to mid-September. There was a whole month in there in which they didn't win 2 games in a row. But let's say they tie, there would have been a playoff game then yesterday in Baltimore, since they had that second tiebreaker. Yankees would have gone to Baltimore yesterday. Then somebody would become the wild card.
And would be traveling.
And they possibly would be traveling. Maybe they...
Right.
Let's say the Yankees won in Baltimore, and Baltimore, well, let's see if the Yankees lost. If the Yankees lost, as the second wild card team, then they would have been home. Actually, the first wild card. They'd be erase this part from the program. They would have been the first. They would have been considered the wild card team.
Sure.
I think, although Oakland got up there with the same number of victories, I don't know how they break that. But let's say they are the wild card team, but they would have been. I think they would have been home against the second wild card team. So they would have had to go back to New York. They're on their way to Baltimore the next day. Because they had best record in baseball but still were tied for the division, they could have wound up playing 2 games in 2 days, then coming back in a couple more days and starting a division series. That's another weakness in this thing, which I didn't think of last week.
That's true.
When I said the whole thing should be forgotten, simply because the second wild card team can be somebody that's a mile out of first place and should not be rewarded for ineptitude. I don't make that much money.
But the example that you gave was the Phillies, and the Phillies didn't.
Oh, I was going to say about not being rewarded for ineptitude. Look at me. I don't make that much money. They're going to reward me.
That's a good point, Wally.
Yeah, it's very valid.
What was that point?
Yours.
We forgot what it was.
Oh,
it was a good one.
The last point that I just made. That was a valid point. That's right. You're not going to be rewarded for ineptitude. But with the second wild card thing, they wanted to do that. But it really could have created some tough travel for somebody that would not be fair to them after playing a long, long season of 162 games, which should weed out the weaker teams. But by having the second wild card, you allow that. And this afternoon, your Braves, they had a terrific season. They hung in all season against the best team in the National League. I guess, did they finish ahead of Cincinnati finally?
No, Cincinnati was second behind the Nationals.
Yeah. I mean, the National, that's who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, behind the Nationals, yes. 4 games.
The Braves stayed behind the best team in the National League all season long, even swept them about a week or so ago, 2 weekends ago.
Right.
And this afternoon, they have 1 game to stay in the playoffs.
Well, I remember when the Braves, back in their days when they came from worst to first, and they tied the Giants with 101 wins. But back then, you went straight to the National League Championship Series. And the Giants, a 101-win team, did not make playoffs. It was straight shot to the because there was no wild card. It was just two teams.
They both won 101 games,
and they both won 101
so how did
games.
The Braves finish ahead of the Giants?
They finished. Actually, they had the tiebreaker was the head-to-head.
Oh,
and the Braves won the head-to-head. That's when they were in the National League West of all divisions. The Braves were in the West. They should have been in the East with Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, but they played against Dodgers, Giants.
So there was no tiebreaker.
So there was,
and they didn't have a wild card team yet.
And they didn't have wild card yet.
Wow, that's a tough way to go.
That's a tough pill to swallow after a 162 game season.
Yeah. Well, the Texas and Baltimore collapse is monumental. Who would have ever seen that coming? And they're in the World Series the last 2 years. It certainly looked they were going back in this year. They started to slip a little bit, but you kept watching the Angels, at least I did. Mm-hmm. And then Oakland, this is fabulous. I've said so many times at our morning program in the sports, this is better than the Moneyball season. This is worth a movie.
Absolutely.
I mean, they have ex-Red Sox players. Coco Crisp is in the lineup, although he's not really a Red Sox. He's bounced around several teams. He's not really a true Red Sox player, but he played with the Red Sox for a couple of years. They finally traded him because Ellsbury was there. Mm-hmm. Josh Reddick is a former Red Sox outfielder, among many that they've tried in the last few years and then released. They kept him for the fine J.D. Drew. Hit at least 220. Brandon Moss in their lineup is a former Red Sox player, another one of their players that they hoped would fit in from their minor league club that they let go. Those two, so you have 3 former Red Sox players in there that were let go, and they didn't have that great an average, but Reddick had about 28 home runs. Brandon Moss had about 20 home runs. Everybody hit at the right time. It was just an amazing story. Everybody delivered in a key moment for them. But you look at their team, they're not all-stars, not a one of them. And as of about a week ago, they had 94 games started by a rookie pitcher. They would have been by far the first club to make the playoffs with that many rookie starts. The former record before that was a team that made the playoffs having a rookie pitcher start something like 47 games. They had 94 as of a week ago. Now, I know they reached probably 97, 98, The player who started that last game against Texas, won to decide the championship of the West, was a rookie. Got knocked out early. They were trailing 5-1, and they still won.
That's a team that's fun to root for. I mean, that situation, that scenario, not necessarily because it's the A's, but any team that comes in with that kind of background and playing rookies and not the big payroll that a lot of the teams have. That's fun to watch. We love the underdog anyway.
So you're rooting for Oakland?
Yeah,
right.
You bet.
Yeah. Rob, I know who you're rooting for. The Braves. What about the American League, or don't you care?
Yeah, I root for Oakland. They've always been that team that has developed talent, but they didn't have the money to keep the talent, and then they always traded it away, like Johnny Damon, think of Mark Mulder, Barry Zito, Tim Hudson. They had some great talent. They couldn't keep a hold of them. They could have been very good.
Yeah. You know which team I would root for? What would you guess out of this whole group?
The Red Sox.
Well, they were 62 and 93 this year. Was it
just missed the playoffs?
Something like that. 69. They won not 62. They won 69.
69.
I'm going to guess that you're pulling for the Orioles.
Oh no,
that's an opponent of your division.
It is. But I would think that just out of loyalty to that division, I know you can't pull for the Yankees, but I would have said
I have loyalty to that division. I'm going to go with loyalty to the division.
No way.
Yankees? Is he going to go for the Yankees?
No way.
Yankees.
No.
All right. I got to step outside and see if there's some pigs flying.
At first I have to say
I'll be right back.
Unbelievable.
The Yankees, by the way, are in this for the 17th time in 18 years. They're in the playoffs. That's disgusting.
It is.
But often when the Red Sox are not there, I will root for them so that they are the champions the next year, and the Red Sox then will be knocking off the champions. It makes them even more detestable in the end. But this time, my brother, who lives back in Buffalo, has been a long-time Yankee fan. And he is in assisted living and needs something to cheer for, so I have to root for the Yankees.
That's good.
Because it'll make him feel good.
Your own personal sentimental favorite.
Isn't that... You see what kind of a character I really have?
Wow.
This is really revealing.
It is.
But the thing is, I hate myself because now I really have to root for them. In other years it'd be nice. Okay, they win, they'll be the champions. That's fine. Next year we'll beat the champions and we'll beat their pants off. That's why I wanted them to win. But now I have different motives for wanting them to win. But on the other hand, I despise them. So I've got my brother for whom I should pull because he enjoys this thing and gives him a lift. I should be rooting avidly for the Yankees, and I am. I did the last couple of days. But on the other hand, there's this part of me that says, you ever see the old Walt Disney movies with Pluto, the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other?
Yes.
And the devil would be telling Pluto, go ahead, Pluto, kill Mickey. Mickey's standing in your way of food. Kill him. And the angel would say, no, Pluto, no, don't do it. And they'd, go back and forth. Pretty soon, Pluto would be getting a knife out of the drawer, going after Mickey. Remember those? Because the devil would win out.
I don't think Walt Disney would go that far.
Well, I have the same. I'm suffering from PS, Pluto syndrome. I have the angel on one shoulder saying, root for the Ray. Your brother would be so happy. It'll keep him happy. On the other shoulder, go ahead. They stink. Kill him. I hope they're out in 3 games. And it's, it's this conflict. It's not an easy thing sometimes being a sports fan.
Oh, no question.
Oh, no question.
No
Good.
question.
You have no questions?
No, I've
have
got
any
lots of questions.
All right,
How many world championships do the Yankees have, really? 27?
Yeah.
Is it 27? They got their 27 championships.
Wow, I was going to say 3. Is it that many?
Yeah.
Just a little off. They suck.
Short-term memory issues.
Well, here's the Triple Crown thing. Miguel Cabrera, he got it.
Something.
Moved ahead of Josh Hamilton.
Brilliant.
Now, Detroit did make the playoffs, and L.A., everybody was saying Mike Trout because of his great season, stolen bases, and all this war thing. What did we say that was?
Wins above replacement.
Wins after
War.
above replacement. These new statistics that they come up with, many said even despite Cabrera's Triple Crown, Mike Trout would win. Now, Cabrera is in with Detroit in the playoffs. Trout and the Angels are out. Does that make a difference?
Yes.
It probably does. I don't think that it should.
No, because you still have... Thank you, because I was going to argue with you. I thought you would say yes, and I was waiting for that. Yes, go ahead, say yes. No. Why? Because the statistics are still the same.
That's right. And some people hang their hat, the voters, hang their hat on how much did they do to help their team. And I get that argument too. I just don't agree with it.
And Detroit in the Central Division, the Angels could have won the Central Division. If they were in the Central, they could have won.
Mm-hmm.
So that's out. It's still their statistics, and some say that the Trouts are better than the Triple Crown winner. Who won the Triple Crown twice? Do you have any idea?
Carl?
No,
not Carl. Yes, no.
I thought Carl Yastrzemski won it in '67. I thought his stats were pretty low for that year because that was the year of the pitcher. The pitchers: Gibson, Drysdale, Koufax, and those people.
I was 6.
Were you 6?
I was 6.
And Ray was not. Ray was not. We'll just leave it at that.
Sorry, Ray.
I was out of college with a degree in philosophy, working at a restaurant in Connecticut for the summer, philosophizing about roast beef.
I was worried about where my Stingray was.
You were wondering, where's the beef, huh?
And then I went home and watched the World Series, the Cardinals and the Red Sox. And my father said, "What are you going to do next now that you're out of college?" "I'm going to get in my car and go west." Carl Yastrzemski was winning the Triple Crown that year with 44 home runs. That's more than I remember. 121 RBIs and 326. I thought he hit something like 309 or something that year with all the pitching. So that's not too far below Cabrera's stats for this year. But Carl Yastrzemski, no, he did not win twice. Ted Williams did. Ted Williams won twice in 42, and then when he came back from the war in 47, he won. And the other one to win twice is Rogers Hornsby of St. Louis, 1922 and 1925.
Wonder how many times Ted Williams will win it once they bring him out again.
Yeah, when they throw him out.
Thaw him out.
Have final thawing. You can't use steroids. Are you allowed to use ice? Well,
we shouldn't joke.
Let's take this break. We have someone from the Seahawks is going to join us this morning. His name is Craig Terrell. He is a former, I believe, a lineman with the Seahawks. And rather than talk about last week's debacle against St. Louis, I still want to ask him about the Monday night game with Green Bay and what the broadcasters meant when they said they can't overturn this. When they were looking at that play, what did they mean by that? So that's still the topic. It's 2 weeks ago. Is it still of interest to you?
Sure.
Is it?
Sure. Absolutely.
3 heads now.
As of this moment.
Right. Good. Well, hopefully we'll get Craig Terrell on the phone and talk with him then about that in just a moment as we continue from the sidelines.
Duck fans, we all know them. From the mild to the maniacal, they pop up everywhere. And they're always looking for ways to show their love for the U of O. Duck lips, duck hats, duck socks, and for the serious fans, a big yellow O painted right across their face. That's love. Now there's a new way for the truest of the true Duck fans to show their U of O pride. Introducing the Duck Card Platinum Visa Card. It's the only credit card that combines low rates, cash back, and the chance to support the University of Oregon Alumni Association with every purchase. When you get yours, you'll see it's a green card with a big yellow O front and center. It's a totally ducked out Visa card, and it offers great fraud protection, online account access, all the bells and whistles you want in a Visa card. Apply for yours today at theduckcard.com. It's quick and easy. That's theduckcard.com. And hey, go Ducks. The Duck Card is offered by OCCU Card Services, LLC, a proud partner of the U of O Alumni Association.
Halcyon Painting just wrapped up their major outdoor projects of the season, and there's still some nice weather left. You can get your job done by the best. Call Halcyon Painting now for your no-obligation proposal. Halcyon provides a complete description of all work to be done in writing, together with a firm price. With Halcyon Painting, every job carries a written warranty. 752-7251. 752-7251.
Halcyon Painting will prove it to you. What makes your paint job better? We do.
Now's your chance to get in on all the hair-raising, action-packed princess fun. Disney on Ice presents Dare to Dream. Watch as Rapunzel lets down her golden hair to tangle with the dashing Flynn Rider and the hilarious Maximus. Go on a mystical adventure through the bayous of Louisiana as Tiana kisses the frog prince Naveen and gets royally jazzed. And become enchanted with Cinderella as she makes her dreams come true. Together for the first time ever, all the Disney princesses you love in a spectacular ice show. Bring your royal family to the ultimate princess event of a lifetime in your hometown. Disney on Ice presents Dare to Dream. The magic begins at $17 per ticket. Additional fees may apply. See roseporter.com for details. Experience a spectacular Disney adventure at Disney on Ice presents Dare to Dream. Coming to the Rose Garden October 25th through 28th.
Gooch and Renier Family Cosmetic Dentistry in Albany would like to remind their friends throughout the area. If your health permits, please donate blood. Your efforts will help save the lives of many throughout our community. Be a silent hero. Give the gift of life. Give blood today. This community message has been brought to you by Gooch and Renier Family Cosmetic Dentistry. Give them a call at 928-9299. 928-9299. They are accepting before and after work appointments. The number again, 928-9299.
Want to really know more? Just point, click, and learn from the Mid-Valley's best website, kgal.com.
That's good. First time around this morning. It's one of those things where you really have to be highly skilled. Right on the CD machine, there are 3 buttons in a row, and you've got to know which one. I was pressing the wrong one about 3 times. I couldn't figure out why the Baja Meshuggah band was not firing. But there, things get better as you go on. Welcome back from the sidelines. I'm Radio Ray. That's Wally Ordeman. And that's Rob Allen, who just stood up and hit his head on the microphone. He'll be out for a little while. We have the new concussion rule in broadcast. He can't come back next week. Nor can he come back.
Can I administer the test, please?
He cannot come back into the game today. In their minds, the Seahawks are going to Carolina, and with their bodies as well this Sunday. Pre-game at 12 here on KGAL. Kickoff 1:05. And very pleased to say hello on the phone to Craig Terrell. Craig, are you there?
I am. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. Particularly, there are no atheists in broadcast booths, and we always pray here that somebody's going to be at the other end of the line, that the phone is working, and it is.
That leap of faith moment.
Yes. So let us say amen and begin. Former Seahawk, right? A linebacker, Craig?
Defensive lineman, yep. I was a linebacker in my mind, but D lineman by position.
You had to drop back sometimes a little further than you wanted. What years were that you were with the Seahawks?
I was drafted the Seahawks in 2004, got to play in the Super Bowl team, and finished my career in 2011.
Oh, Super Bowl team. Now, that's interesting. I really, rather than talk about the debacle against St. Louis last week, I still want to ask about the final moments of the Green Bay game, if you don't mind. That one was decided by officiating in your favor. I still think in my mind, by the way, we heard your qualifications for being here as an analyst. Our qualifications for the 3 of us, I'm Ray, that's Wally, that's Rob. Our qualifications are we've watched football for several years.
Well, that's as qualified as you can get right there.
That's right. So that makes us experts. But I have always felt that Super Bowl against the Seahawks in Pittsburgh was the only one that was decided by officiating. The Seahawks should have won. How about a response to that?
Yeah, as a player, I think you can immediately go there. And then I think as I've watched that game over the years, you always have those moments. You're like, well, if we did this, it wouldn't have been an issue. Or if we would have done this better or that better, it would have changed the outcome. And we wouldn't put it in another team's hands or the referee's hands. So I think it's unfortunate that it's kind of marred by that. And, people are so mad about the Green Bay game, but I'm glad that one went the Seahawks' way for a change.
Yeah, the other one was a key one, though, in the history of the Seahawks, and that was a shame. That Monday night game, what I have wondered about is when the call was made at the end of the game and Jennings catches the ball or ruled that he made a catch, and they looked at it on replay. Now, first of all, those are the regular replay, I guess you could say, officials. They're not replacement. Those are the people that are hired by the NFL to do that every week. Mm-hmm. And as the announcers on Monday Night Football talked about it, they said they're going to review that in the booth. And one of them, and forgive me, I don't know the names of the Monday Night TV announcers, but one of them said they can't overturn that. And the other one quickly said, that's correct, they can't. The next morning, I happened to be listening to ESPN on the way in, Mike and Mike on the football, on the sports broadcast in the morning. They were talking football, and they talked about the review of the play on Monday night. And one of them said, they can't overturn that. And the other one replied, no, they can't. What did they mean by that? I mean, they were looking at it up in the booth. What could they have done with the review? Do you know?
Yeah, especially since it was a ruled a touchdown on the field, I can't see why they wouldn't be able to overturn, because they review every touchdown in the NFL now. So I guess what's the purpose of reviewing them if you can't overturn them?
Right. What did they mean by that? Because usually, if it's obvious that it can't be overturned, that it shows they've already seen the TV replay, but that's not what they were saying. They weren't saying that there wasn't conclusive evidence. They were just saying they can't overturn that.
Yeah, and and I'm a defensive lineman speaking, and the best thing I did well was just hit people. But maybe as my understanding would have it, that they can't determine who had possession. They can't overrule that ruling. So if it's ruled a touchdown and he didn't catch it or the ball hit the ground, they could say it's not a touchdown. But if they ruled it a touchdown and it was a maybe interception, then that's something that they can't overturn.
Now, in 2 weeks of my pondering that call, I did think of that, but how would they know up in the booth what the actual call that the one official who ruled touchdown, why he had determined it to be a touchdown? How would they know?
I'm not really sure. I think there's a lot of head scratching all around that whole play, and it kind of spread throughout the country and through Las Vegas and everywhere else. So I think it's something the NFL wanted to move on from really quick. I think that's why the referee lockout was ended soon thereafter.
Yeah, so actually it turned out to be well as far as the replacement officials, getting rid of the replacement officials. It probably wouldn't have happened that quickly except for that error.
Yeah, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I think you kind of saw things getting worse and worse as the weeks went by with the progress of the game and the calls being made and Bill Belichick grabbing a referee at the end of the game. So I think it was coming to a boiling point, and that just pushed it over the edge.
And Las Vegas gave some of the money back.
That's something, right? They usually don't like to give money back, do they?
No. Did you ever see the movie Lost in America with Albert Brooks?
I have not seen that one.
Well, Albert Brooks and his wife, he and his wife go to Las Vegas, and his wife gambles, and she loses everything. They have a motorhome. They're going to travel and see America. This is it. They're going to travel all through the states. But his wife becomes a problem gambler and loses the nest egg. So Albert Brooks goes to the owner of the casino and says, now, here's something. This would be great publicity for you to give us the money back.
It happened in real life, and I've never heard of casinos giving money back to people.
Well, the casino owner looks at him and says, I can't do that, does not give him the money back. That was incredible that they gave people, I don't know, I guess everybody got their money back or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was a few different casinos from what I read in the different news stories.
True.
That I think trying to make a PR move, but it's a big deal because they kind of like their money in Las Vegas.
Well, the Seahawks got the victory that night. They probably should have had the loss. They picked up a loss last week where they probably should have won against St. Louis.
It's kind of crazy. I think if you look at their first 4 games and you say they were going to be 2-2, you'd say they beat Arizona and they beat St. Louis and they lost to the Cowboys and the Packers. And you just kind of flip that around and you're kind of scratching your head. But it was surprising, I think, the performance that they had in St. Louis. And I don't think St. Louis is a bad team, as we saw last night. They have a very talented defense that's capable of doing a lot of great things. And
was it 9 sacks last night?
Yeah, just incredible. Kevin Cobb was not wanting to be in that in the dome anymore. So I think they have Sam Bradford as well. So not taking anything away from St. Louis, but I think we're a more talented team at this point in the growth of the franchise versus what St. Louis has done. So I think that should have been a win on the chart. But you're 2-2 and moving forward into the second quarter of the season.
Yeah, I'm from Buffalo, and I'm a Bills fan, and we're moving forward. We had the lead at halftime last week against New England.
Feel free to disparage Buffalo in any possible way you can.
And this week, we're going to go out and scare San Francisco.
A good scare team. That's perfect. I got to play. Bruce DeHaven was my special teams coach for a few years in Seattle, and he was, on all the Super Bowl teams in Buffalo. So I got to hear plenty of Buffalo stories.
Oh, were they good?
Yeah, they were all right.
But it didn't end well.
You paused a little bit there. You could have been a little.
They never ended well. Yeah.
Oh, none of the stories.
None of them.
Who is I'm trying to think of the running back that they traded to Baltimore? who badmouthed the Bills a couple of years back. I should know that name immediately. Forgive me, I can't think of it at the moment. They had billboards in Buffalo when I was back home a few years ago saying, Willis McGahee.
Yes.
Willis McGahee. They finally let him go, but Willis then had some bad things to say about Buffalo and their lack of restaurants. And somebody paid for billboards I saw a couple of them, one near the stadium, that said, Willis is trash. That was the billboard. Because we're so tired of people demeaning beautiful Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, I've had several friends play there, and they've all had good things to say about it. So, I'm all for Buffalo.
How many concussions did they suffer while they were with the Bills?
They said it was always nice in September.
A few.
And after that, it just went downhill.
All right, a prediction this weekend: Seattle. Is it Seattle we're talking about?
It's Seattle.
It is Seattle. Seattle and Carolina, the Panthers.
Traveling the East Coast, but I like the fact that we're playing the late game on the East Coast. I think it gives us just a little more time to get out of bed, woke up, ready to play some football more on the West Coast time frame. So I'm seeing the Seahawks going there with the W, and I think we can actually throw the ball on them. I think if Russell Wilson's going to have a good breakout game, this will be the one. So I could see him putting up 21 points through the air.
All right, it's Sunday at noon. When you say the later game on the East Coast, there would normally be 9. Noon for the pregame, and kickoff is 1:05, which is good then for the Seahawks. So nobody's quite sure what they can't overturn that meant on that Monday night game. It's still a mystery, eh?
Yeah, we're scratching our head, and I don't think the NFL wants you talking about it anymore. So they might shut you down if you keep bringing it up.
All right, I won't mention it again. Craig, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you. I hope we can do it again through Friday mornings during the season.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks. Craig Terrell with the Seahawks. We have Seahawk football again Sunday, pregame at 12 here on KGL. We'll take this break. We'll return from the sidelines.
Healthletics Chiropractic Clinic LLC reminds everybody, only 8% of the eligible donor population actually bothers to donate blood. New donors are needed constantly to replace those who become ineligible because of age or for medical reasons. So help your local hospitals and blood banks keep pace with the rising need. Be a silent hero, give the gift of life, take the time and donate blood. This message has been from Healthletics Chiropractic Clinic LLC. Remember, with regular donations from everybody, blood shortages will be a thing of the past.
When you look out across Willamette Valley, you'll see plenty of banking choices. But we're here to give you an option that's pretty unique, like no other in fact. Hi, I'm Dave Wood, President and CEO of Willamette Community Bank. We provide an alternative to large national and regional banks by offering customized financial services and local decision-making to benefit local people, local families, and local businesses. How many banks can say that? Willamette Community Bank, service like no other, we promise. Member FDIC.
Valley Talk, weekday mornings on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Are we back already? That's a short break. Well, that's shorter than I thought. Okay, welcome back to From the Sidelines. Just called back Craig Terrell to thank him for that conversation. It's nice of him to take the time. I often think it's kind of tough. I almost feel awkward asking the Seahawks to have somebody to talk to us on Friday morning, because there's the whole big sports talk radio thing now, ESPN or whatever, or big programs like The Fan. Every city seems to have The Fan in the big cities, New York, Dallas, and they can be on those shows because if their team is playing Seattle. And I often think it's a little bit awkward. Hi, I'm Ray Pitts with KGL Radio. Could you talk to me? So I thought I'd call him back and thank him for that.
Oh, but they're clamoring to be able to be on our show.
Oh, and look at Brock Heward when he was with us for a long time. Look where he went.
That's right.
I think KGL platformed him to that.
We were the stair step in his career.
I have called him and said to him, you owe a lot to me.
The stair step, he stepped on us on his way. He doesn't want to talk. Maybe we can get Brock back. Maybe we can get Brock back on the radio.
That'd be a lot of fun, wouldn't it?
Well, he has his own program on Cairo. In fact, I think he's on at this hour, which is why we can't talk to him on Fridays. He's on till about 1 o'clock.
He should have us on.
Well, he should. He should, but we can't do it either because we're on radio.
We just put on the best of Ray And,
can we find that?
Get on
We'd
the
have
phone.
to
It'd be about 15 minutes.
We'll research.
Short program. Big short program. A short program, if any. Maybe an hour of silence. But I have a message from him that he left for me saying, Radio Ray, that's right. I am beholden to you. Is he kind of lays it out real thick, but he understood.
I'll never forget the time you were interviewing him and he was clam digging.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. He was
Yeah.
clam digging.
Yeah. He was at Long Beach, Washington.
Yes, he was Long Beach,
clamming.
Washington.
Good stuff. The Beavers tomorrow against Washington State. I think, we've had all these weeks against Wisconsin, UCLA, and those other guys, Arizona. We're always worried about those games. They were ranked teams. The Beavers could have their problems. Now suddenly I find people saying, ooh, Washington State, that's a team they can beat. There's where the problem comes in for this week. I'm just looking at
Are you calling it a trap game? Or first of all, are you asking me a question?
Well, it sounds like a statement. I'm looking at
Statement
you.
that just stared right at me.
I just
bored through me with those steely eyes.
Steel eyes. The reason they're steel is because I have my sunglasses again, which I prefer to wear in the car, and I forgot my other glasses, so I can't even see what I'm looking at.
We're 3 feet away, Ray.
If I'm staring, forgive me.
I've heard it described this week as a trap game.
Have they said? Who said that? Whoever they were was right.
A friend of mine. So,
okay.
That's they.
Mike Riley.
But sometime I'll have to tell you about my quick conversation with Mike Riley that I had accidentally. You want me to tell you now?
What was the quick conversation? Hi, this is Wally Ordeman.
I got a phone message. I got a phone message at work, and the person who left the message for me transposed 2 of the numbers, and I called to return this phone call to a woman, and Mike Riley answered. Said, "Hi, this is Mike Riley."
Wow.
Whoa.
Because I had dialed the wrong number.
It was, which Mike Riley?
It was the Mike Riley.
Yeah?
And I quickly...
What did he say? This is the Mike Riley?
No, he said, this is Mike Riley.
How do you know that's the Mike Riley?
I'm going to tell you how. Because
it was me.
1, it sounded like him, and 2, I said... I kind of recovered and said, "Wow, I'm sorry, Coach. I was returning a phone call." And he said, "Hey, no problem. Have a great day."
Yeah, get off the phone. It was pretty much click. Who are you?
Yeah. So, and I was very tempted to put that number in my contacts in my phone, but I didn't. I took the ethical high road.
That would be good.
Good job, Wally.
But back to your point. About this week. I have heard it described as a trap game, and I think who would have thought that we would think that the Beavers would have what we would call a trap game after 3 games of the season, and I think that's an endorsement of what the Beavers have done so far on this season. But yes, it is kind of a trap game. It's you've won some games where you were the underdog. You've won 3 games where you were the underdog. Now, technically, they probably weren't the underdog going into Arizona, but we considered them the underdog going down there. And now you have a game against a team that's been struggling. You have them at home. It would be very easy to take this lightly. I don't think he'll have them. I think he'll have the Beavs ready. I think they win this one.
And then Washington State was only down by 4? Like 23-19 at the half to the Ducks last week?
Right.
So this could be a battle throughout, because the Ducks put teams away again now in the second half by exhausting them. I don't understand that either. What is this exhausting business? Why aren't they in as good a shape to run around the field like the Duck offense is? That's another question for another day.
Because the Duck offense isn't on the field very long. They don't have the sustained drives. They've got quick strike. It's their defense.
1 minute, 2 minute drives.
Neither is the defense for the other team. How do they keep getting this business that they're so worn out? They're only on the field for 13 seconds and collapsing. I don't understand that. But that said, they hung in with the Ducks. If they hung in with the Ducks, chances are they'll hang in with the Beavers, and they won't collapse in the second half. They should hang there tomorrow and be within shouting distance.
Hey, I can remember a time when the Beavers were the trap game.
Yes.
So it says how far
that's good.
we've come.
Great point.
By the way, how many breaks did I take so far?
2. You've taken 2.
Oh, I did take 2? Yes. That's good. Okay. I was afraid we're really behind, but we better take a break here. We'll come back. Speaking of the Beavers, we have the roving reporter from the Church of the Beaver Believers on the job this week.
Outstanding.
When? Serious?
Yeah.
Wait for it.
When we return on From the Sidelines at 1580 KGAL.
Duck fans, we all know them. From the mild to the maniacal, they pop up everywhere. and they're always looking for ways to show their love for the U of O. Duck lips, duck hats, duck socks, and for the serious fans, a big yellow O painted right across their face. That's love. Now there's a new way for the truest of the true Duck fans to show their U of O pride. Introducing the Duck Card Platinum Visa Card. It's the only credit card that combines low rates, cash back, and the chance to support the University of Oregon Alumni Association with every purchase. When you get yours, you'll see it's a green card with a big yellow O front and center. It's a totally ducked-out Visa card, and it offers great fraud protection, online account access, all the bells and whistles you want in a Visa card. Apply for yours today at theduckcard.com. It's quick and easy. That's theduckcard.com. And hey, go Ducks! The Duck Card is offered by OCCU Card Services, LLC, a proud partner of the U of O Alumni Association.
This is Shelley Garrett, and Ryan Murphy and I are going to be headed to the courthouse steps in Albany this Saturday at 7:30 a.m. for the Seroptimus International Run for a Life, Walk for a Cause live remote broadcast. Please join us from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the air, or better than that, come join us in person as we walk the streets of Albany. The walk begins at 9:15, so come and join us before. This is Shelley Garrett and Ryan the Lion, and we'll be on live at 9:20 a.m. K-Show.
Get fit. Feel better. Look better. Get in shape and have fun doing it. Get started now and join the Albany Athletic Club. Since 1979, the Albany Athletic Club has offered a clean, friendly, safe environment where fitness is fun. Play racquetball, lift weights, participate in cycling or yoga, or just relax in the sauna or whirlpool. Group fitness classes from low-impact dance to traditional circuit training. Your children will love the childcare. Don't wait. Join today. The Albany Athletic Club over the bridge in North Albany next to Tom's Garden Center.
Coming October 13th, it's the second annual Samaritan Health Services Living Well Expo at Heritage Mall in Albany, presented by Bimart and a Turning Leaf Home Medical. There are over 80 booths promoting healthy, fun, and fulfilling lifestyles. Bring the family. It's free. Enjoy the exhibit, special sales, and Bimart micro-reality racing track, and continuous entertainment on the Monarch Medical Weight Loss main stage. See performances by local magicians, the Lebanon High School Dance Team, the Square Dance Alliance, Albany Civic Theater, Cascade Performing Arts, and more. Explore new hobbies and visit health screenings ranging from blood pressure tests to breast and cervical cancer detection. Learn about nutrition, including the Oregon Healthy Kids program. Ever wondered how much that rare book, those old Victorian pieces, or other old items might be worth? Local advanced collectors will be on hand to give you an evaluation of your items starting at noon. Don't miss the second annual Samaritan Health Services Living Well Expo, presented by Bimart and a Turning Leaf Home Medical, coming up October 13th at Heritage Mall in Albany.
Hear the truth and only the truth from your cultural crusader, Michael Medved, on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Wow, that one ad we heard where Ryan the Lion, Ryan Murphy, and Shelley Garrett are going to be beheaded at the courthouse tomorrow. That's Shelley talking about. I don't know why she wants to talk that up.
Pretty enthusiastic about that.
I want to see it. We'll be down at the courthouse early tomorrow, getting up front to see that. Well, welcome back from the sidelines, a home for Beaver fans. By the way, the Beavers have reneged on that banning wearing black. You could do it if you wanted, but they weren't going to make it a campaign to wear black. They decided yesterday, yes, you should go ahead. As the tickets tell you what to wear for the games, wear black, wear orange, you do what you want anyway. But tomorrow, if you wish to follow the ticket suggestion to wear black, they now say, go ahead and do it. And I think that's good. Ken Zano wrote an article about that yesterday in the Oregonian, which pretty much says the same things I would say about the middle of the week where they said shouldn't do that. It was some fools in 2007 that wore afro wigs and black makeup that spoiled it. In fact, Ken Zano said it was just one person. But today's story said a couple of people did it. But fortunately, you want to wear black tomorrow, you can. It should be a festive occasion, we hope, but the Reverend Mr. Orange and Black is speechless from the first couple of weeks, doesn't know what to say about the 3-0 record. So he let another employee of the church speak today. It's the roving reporter, just talking about the football season so far from the Church of the Beaver Believer.
I am your roving reporter. Pac-12 football fans are suddenly all abuzz. Here's one now, sir. What do you make of the Pac-12 season so far?
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear.
One thing is clear. The Oregon State Beavers are back in contention.
Got to admit, it's getting better. A little better.
It certainly is. And here's the man who's responsible, Coach Mike Riley. Mike, at the end of last season, your job seemed to be in jeopardy. What did athletic director Bob DeCarolis say was the reason he was keeping you on?
'Cause you like me too much and I like you.
A good working relationship is certainly important. Mike, you met with Bob DeCarolis again yesterday. What does he say to you now?
How happy you have made me.
I would guess so. What else did he say to you?
You are my special angel.
The two of you have a very special working relationship, don't you? Mike, some of the fans still criticize your play calling as being too basic, too bland. What do you say to them? Seemingly so. After last season, many Pac-12 coaches were fired. Here's one of them recently released, Rick Neuheisel. Rick, was there anything your boss at UCLA said that gave you a hint you might be fired?
Best you sent you are the most sweet you can share.
I suppose that just might start you wondering. What did Barbara Hedges say before she fired you at Washington?
You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Baby, you're no good.
Now that's a little more direct. Rick, you are known as a very good recruiter. Tell me, what do you first say when you visit a recruit's home?
Open up a honey, it's your lover boy, me that's knocking.
That would get their attention. How do you let them know you really want them to sign with you?
To tell this world that you're mine.
You're a passionate recruiter, aren't you? Well, what do you tell a recruit about other coaches who may come to visit them? You're a very passionate recruiter, aren't you? Wait, I see all of last season's fired Pac-12 coaches are here. Rick Neuheisel, Paul Wolf, Mike Stoops, and Dennis Erickson. Guys, if you could, what would you say to your former bosses?
When will I be loved?
Thinking back, is there any one thing you wish you would have said to them?
Oh, you can't do that.
I'm not sure that would have worked, but it might have been worth a try. One more question. This one for a Beaver fan. Sir, how do you feel now about the Beavers' chances in the Pac-12 this season?
And it's a run for the roses.
Well, you never know. We tried that a couple of times a few years ago, and it just didn't work out. But then, you never know. I'm your roving reporter. Well, we can hope, but you got to win tomorrow, Washington State, then Washington, then Utah. All the Beaver fans say this is doable, but look at all the upsets so far. Even last night, USC was only up by 3 points entering the fourth quarter against Utah. I'm looking at you again, just staring. Huh? Okay. But it's been tough. Stanford beat USC. Washington beat Stanford. Utah played well against USC last night. Washington State was only down 4 to the Ducks. And you're not going to win every game. Somewhere you're going to slip.
A lot of parity. It's really something the Pac-12 is this year.
We'll take this break and we will return from the sidelines.
Duck fans, we all know them. From the mild to the maniacal, they pop up everywhere. And they're always looking for ways to show their love for the U of O. Duck lips, duck hats, duck socks, and for the serious fans, a big yellow O painted right across their face. That's love. Now there's a new way for the truest of the true Duck fans to show their U of O pride. Introducing the Duck Card Platinum Visa Card. It's the only credit card that combines low rates, cash back, and the chance to support the University of Oregon Alumni Association with every purchase. When you get yours, you'll see it's a green card with a big yellow O front and center. It's a totally ducked-out Visa card, and it offers great fraud protection, online account access, all the bells and whistles you want in a Visa card. Apply for yours today at theduckcard.com. It's quick and easy. That's theduckcard.com. And hey, go Ducks! The Duck Card is offered by OCCU Card Services, LLC, a proud partner of the U of O Alumni Association.
Get started. Get finished at Lynn Benton Community College.
After losing my job, I needed retraining for a career that was more stable. At LBCC, the positive support and open doors provided me the tools to build a foundation for my new career.
It taught me, most importantly, how I learned best. I would not be prepared to go to a four-year university without my previous experience at Lynn Benton Community College.
Get started. Get finished at Lynn Benton Community College. Find out more at lynnbenton.edu.
Is the boing into your seat, sending you through the roof? Then see the ASC certified technicians at Kingsbury Automotive. You'll get peace of mind and competitive pricing with every expert repair. In Lebanon, call 541-258-2240 for Kingsbury Automotive.
Everything for your car and truck. Expert repairs you can trust. Expert repairs you can trust.
258-2240 for Kingsbury Automotive.
Lapdogs, yes men. Congress is full of people who blindly follow the party line and cave easily to special interests. You'd never confuse Peter DeFazio for one of those guys. Peter DeFazio has never been afraid to go against the flow or make some waves when he believes in something. That's why Peter stood up to leaders in both parties, leading the fight against the $700 billion Wall Street bailout. But this is nothing new. Peter has been fighting to crack down on Wall Street's reckless behavior for years. Peter supported the Wall Street Reform Act, but he's pushed for even stronger protections to safeguard the American people from ever bailing out Wall Street again. And to lower gas prices, Peter has fought big oil and gas speculators who care more about profits than people. Whether it's standing up to powerful Wall Street banks or greedy big oil executives, Peter DeFazio will take on anyone who threatens Oregon families.
I'm Peter DeFazio, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by DeFazio for Congress.
Your voice of reason in the West is Hugh Hewitt. Weekday afternoons at 3 on Smart Talk 1580.
Welcome back from the sidelines this Friday morning. Heard on KGAL Radio each Friday from 11:06 until noon. I'm Radio Ray. That's Wally Ordeman. That's Rob Allen. We started out again by talking about this extra wild card deal, which seems offensive to me. But it did work, certainly for interest in the final days. But, you know, this year, ironically, one thing is they didn't necessarily need it because you had the pennant chases. Not in the National League, although, you know, through at least early September, Dodgers and Giants were in a pennant race. But you had Texas, Oakland, and the Angels. You had Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and the Yankees. And the Red Sox were only like 20 games back, hanging in there for a September run. But interest was up this year. Major League Baseball's average attendance rose 1.8% to its highest level since 2008. Probably no question it was the extra wild card in those cities like Baltimore, Oakland, and Tampa Bay, National League, Dodgers, St. Louis, all of those were in the running for a second wild card.
Yeah, no question. I think that's a fair assessment.
Okay, that's it. I have no more for this morning. How about Justin Wilcox? Justin Wilcox was the defensive coordinator at Boise State when they beat the Ducks. Remember LeGarrette Blount threw that punch and was gone for the whole season?
Yes. Until the Oregon State game.
Yes.
You know, LeGarrette, that's not so bad. That shows a lot of emotion. Why don't you come in and play against Oregon State? I still hate that. Chip Kelly, but you know, it's the kids. We got to put the kids in line until the Oregon State game. Then we'll put them in line. Justin Wilcox was also the defensive coordinator at Tennessee when the Ducks went there, and they pulled it away in the second half. He's the defensive coordinator now for Washington. Comes in tomorrow. That might be interesting. Former Junction City kid there.
Right.
You know, it was his brother that the Reverend Mr. Orange and Black saw at a restaurant in Eugene and started preaching the gospel. My son was raised the correct way in Oregon State, not knowing it was Josh Wilcox, the bigger of the Wilcox brothers.
Nice. Beautiful.
Wasn't that wonderful? Well, I hear the music tonight, South and West. You Civil War fans, tune into 920K show. Tremendous job by Wally Ordeman and Ryan Pittsy Friday night. And Rob Allen joins me for Silverton and Lebanon tonight at 7 on 1580 KGAL.
Very good.
Have a good sports week. Thanks, guys.
You too.
Locally owned and operated, this is the very independent News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.